Yeah, you're live now.
Okay, perfect. All right. In that case, welcome to tonight's licensing subcommittee meeting. My name is Councillor Patrick Walsh, and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. This meeting is being broadcast live on the Council's YouTube channel. If I lose connection at any point, Councillor Chivot-Verdier will take over for me. I'd like to remind all participants of a few housekeeping points. First, please keep your microphones muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your camera turned on when you speak at the hearing. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If parties wish to add any additional information other than at their allotted time, they may use the raise hand function so that they are not missed. I'd also ask that members keep their questions and comments brief and to the point. And in that case, I'm going to move on to the agenda item. Firstly, apologies for absence, and none have been received. Item 2, declarations of interest. Do members of the committee have any declarations of interest?
No, Chair.
Councillor Chivot-Verdier?
No, Chair.
Okay. Thank you. In that case, moving along to item 3. That is Chester House, 81 to 83 Fulham High Street, London. I'd like to ask everyone participating to introduce themselves as I call on you. We should have in the meeting with us Lisa Inzani, the applicant's representative.
Yes, I'm here from Poppleston Allen Licensing Solicitors.
Good evening. Felix Forker, the applicant solicitor.
Yes, that is me. I will be representing the application, and my client is in the room, as you've just noticed. Then I will turn the computer around to show them as you introduce them.
Fabulous. We should have Dejma Sanderson, the operating director for the applicant.
That's me.
Good evening. Scotty Sutherland, the property director.
Good evening, that's me.
Larry Hunt.
Hi, yep, that's me.
Perfect. And then from the council, we should have Lorna McNamara.
Present, Chair.
And we should also have Gertha.
Aye, present, Chair.
Excellent. So this evening, we do not have any body representing the objectors. So I'm briefly going to go through the procedure. Before we consider the application today, please may I quickly explain what's going to be happening. Firstly, we will hear from the following. Firstly, starting with the licensing officer, who will introduce the application. We will then have the objector, and Lorna will summarize the objections as they are not present. And finally, we will hear from the applicant themselves. Or the representatives. Usually each party will address the committee for a maximum of 5 minutes. Following the presentation by all parties, the committee may ask questions to any party or other person present at the hearing. Except committee members, no party has the right to ask questions of any other party at any time during the hearing. Following the presentation, and questioning each party will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their case or representation. And the committee will then retire for its deliberation. Upon the return, I will announce the committee's decision. Firstly, can I ask the licensing officer, Lorna McNamara, to introduce the item?
Yes, Chair. On the 18th of July 2024, the Licensing Authority received a valid application for a new premises licence in respect of the premises known as Chester House, 81 to 83 Fulham High Street, London, SW6 3JW, which was submitted by Poppleston Allen Solicitors on behalf of Pavilion Fulham Green Limited, the applicant. The applicant has applied for a new premises licence for the following licensable activities, days and times. The provision of films, live music and recorded music, all indoors only, Sundays to Tuesdays from 10 a.m. till midnight and Wednesdays to Saturdays from 10 a.m. till 1 a.m. The provision of late night refreshment, both indoors and outdoors, Sundays to Tuesdays from 11 p.m. till midnight and Wednesdays to Saturday, 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. The sale of alcohol both on and off the premises, Sundays to Tuesdays from 10 a.m. till midnight and Wednesdays to Saturdays from 10 a.m. till 1 a.m. The opening hours for the premises are Mondays to Sundays, 24 hours. The applicant has proposed a number of additional steps in the operating schedule to promote the 4 licensing objectives if the application is minded to be granted this evening. And on the 31st of July 2024, following correspondence with the police licensing team, the applicant agreed to add a further 2 conditions to the licence if granted. Further to this, on the 4th of September 2024, following a meeting with one of the objectors at the premises, the applicant agreed to amend the hours applied for the sale of alcohol off the premises to the following. The sale of alcohol off the premises only, Mondays to Sundays between the hours of 10 a.m. till 11 p.m. During the consultation period, the licensing section received 2 objections to the license being granted from local residents. And following the reduction of the hours for the sale of alcohol off the premises, 1 objector did withdraw the representation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Lorna. Is there any further representations you wish to make on behalf of the objector?
No, just that there is 1 objection which remains in the pack, which just basically is about antisocial behaviour with live music. I have tried to contact the other objector multiple times via email and also sent letters to try and contact them in regards to their objection, and to send obviously the correspondence which is in the agenda pack from Felix as well, but we've had no response to any of it. So we have made multiple attempts to contact them to discuss their objections. So, and they've not confirmed their attendance this evening.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for that, Lorna. In that case, we shall move along to members' questions. So is there any member of the committee that wishes to ask a question? Just scroll over so I can see.
Chair, will the applicant not be speaking to us first?
Yes, you're right, Councillor.
Yes, you are correct. Sorry, I am ahead of myself in what I'm reading here. So yes, could you please invite Felix Faulkner to speak, and you have up to 5 minutes to speak, and you can split that amongst yourselves, or any individual may use that time as you guys see fit.
Thank you, Chair. Just before I start, I will be, as you probably noticed, looking a little bit to my left. We are operating a 2-screen system here, so I have the camera in front of me, but the Zoom call is on my left-hand side. So if I do look to the left, I'm just looking to see everyone on the call. I understand that you've all read the papers, for which I thank you, and I will ensure to keep my presentation brief, concise, and to the point. Pavilion are the providers of luxury workspaces, private offices, and exclusive private members' facilities across London, designed for professional, creatives, and everyone in between. The premises at Chester House, 81 to 83 Fulham High Street, is the 4th premises owned and operated by Pavilion, which opened its doors earlier this year. The purpose behind the premise licence application before you today is for Pavilion to provide a complimentary offering to their members, guests of their members, and to guests attending a pre-booked private event within these brand new and beautifully appointed premises in Fulham Green. Pavilion operates 3 existing sites in Knightsbridge, Kensington, and the City, 2 of which hold a premises licence. All operate both members' events and private events throughout the week to provide an additional benefit to their clientele. The proposal here is identical, and examples of the types of events the premises propose to host can be seen on page 70 of the agenda. Prior to submission of the application, a meeting was held at the premises with the licensing authority, the police, and environmental health to discuss our proposed application. This provided the applicant the opportunity to show these officers the premises and exactly how the applicant intends to operate the premises licence should it be granted. 15 conditions were agreed with the officers and offered within the application. The complete operating schedule, including the 15 agreed conditions, are set out at page 30 and 31 of your agenda. There were no representations from the responsible authorities made during the consultation period of our application. 2 representations were received from local residents. Following the receipt of the representations, correspondence was sent to both residents to offer to meet with them and show the residents the premises. This was an opportunity for the applicant to explain how they propose to operate the club and explain how the premise licence complements the facilities available to pavilion members and their guests. The applicant sought to meet with the residents to show them around and explain the measures put in place to ensure that residents are not disturbed. One of the residents, Miss Stewart, met with us, and following discussions, the applicant agreed to reduce the terminal hour for the sale of alcohol off the premises to 2300 Monday to Sunday. This was previously midnight. Miss Stewart then withdrew her representation. Numerous attempts have been made to contact the remaining objector, Mr. Mounsey. However, no response has been received from Mr. Mounsey. The documentation we have provided in the agenda papers at pages 41 to 58 shows the fit out of the premises is to an exceptional standard, providing for a high quality and inviting space for members, their guests, and persons attending a private function. Both food and drink will be available, and copies of the food and drink menu are at pages 59 to 68. It is fundamental to note that Pavilion is a members-only club. Access to the club, and therefore the use of the premises licence, is limited to members of the club, their bona fide guests, and guests who have booked a private event. There is no access to the premises for members of the public. Each attendee, be that a member, guest of a member, or an individual on a guest list, will need to sign in upon entry. This means that the applicant will have full knowledge of all the individuals within the premises at all times. A condition to this effect is within the conditions provided for the application and is condition 13 on page 31. As Pavilion is a co-working space, this means that members can access the premises 24 hours a day. In view of this, the premises has a security team on the premises 7 days a week from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. All the security team are SA registered and are regularly monitoring the CCTV footage and roaming around the grounds of the premises to ensure the premises remain safe for their members and the local community. A full breakdown of the staffing levels at the premises can be seen at page 69. The representation made by Mr. Mounsey refers to the premises contributing to further antisocial behaviour, urinating in the car park, and extra noise by loud music into the early hours of the morning. The applicant, in developing and building the premises, has utilised professional acousticians to ensure that the build of the premises is built to the highest acoustic standard possible, and to ensure that no noise will be emitted from the premises that will cause a nuisance to local residents. This is enforced by condition 9 on page 31. The application for live music at the premises is for indoors only, and any outside area will close at 11 p.m. to ensure that the residents are not disturbed. This has been offered by way of a condition at condition 14 on page 31. Access to the premises is only via Fulham High Street. Members and their guests attending the premises will exit the grounds of Chester House onto Fulham High Street and either turn right, heading north, or alternatively turn left along Station Approach to Putney Bridge Tube Station. There is no direct access from the premises leading onto Frederick Court and specifically the car park of Frederick Court. The applicant is a responsible operator with an impeccable record of operating premises licences across other London boroughs and has a strong working relationship with all its current neighbours. The applicant has continually attempted to liaise with Mr. Mounsey, however has received no response. In summary, the application before you is a modest application for hours within the licensing policy of Hammersmith and Fulham. The application has been submitted in agreement with the responsible authorities, your main advisors on points of crime and disorder and noise and nuisance, who are content that the application upholds the licensing objectives. If you do have any questions, then myself and my client will be happy to answer these directly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felix. We shall now move along to members of the committee's questions. Do members of the committee have any questions? I can see Councillor Chivot-Verdier.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the presentation. In my opening statement, I want to say a very welcome condition on pages 4 to 5, which is in the applicant's operating schedule, is said the premises will have a policy to ensure the welfare and safeguarding of vulnerable patrons. That's very welcome, and to train people on how to support and assist people who feel unsafe, vulnerable, or threatened. Lorna, I wanted to ask you at the licensing team, this venue has now been opened, if I'm right, for roughly 3 weeks. I wondered if you could tell us what it has been operating under and as, what were the hours and activities, and if there were any complaints or anything coming from the premises.
I mean, there's no temporary event notices that have been issued for the premises. So it shouldn't be, it can operate as a workspace and supply food, but it wouldn't be able to obviously sell alcohol or provide any licensable activity without a premises license in place, which is obviously what we're determining this evening.
So, sending it over to you, Mr. Faulkner, and perhaps the team, in trying to find information about the venue, we had looked on social media. It appears you had a launch party at the premises on either or the 3rd and the 4th of October.
Yeah.
Lorna, was that applied for?
Like I said, we've not had any temporary event notices submitted for the premises. I've checked the records.
So over to the applicant.
The launch party, you're correct. Yes, that was an invite-only launch party. It was a free event. There was no licensable activities undertaking place. There was no sale of alcohol. All the alcohol that was available was given away for free. That is largely to celebrate the opening. It's commonly known in the industry as a soft launch. It's something that premises do quite regularly, and it's something to celebrate the opening of a premises and thank a lot of the people who have worked on the premises and helped put this premises together. So no licensable activities were taking place.
Thank you. And Lorna, for the avoidance of doubt, do you agree with what's been said?
Well, as long as there's no sale of alcohol, that is the licensable activity. So if it was supplied free of charge, then Gerta can correct me if not, but then they wouldn't require a license for that.
Gerta, do you want to come in on that?
So, sorry, councillors, let me check that and I'll come back to you whether they can supply. I'll come back to you.
Maybe Chair, I can give the floor to someone else for now.
Certainly. Councillor Stanton, do you have any question you wish to ask?
Really, I to be honest, I don't really have very much in the way of questions. There's just one thing that I think I've understood from the plans. This is to the applicant, Mr. Faulkner. Can you just confirm that the only licensable areas that you're applying for will be on I think it's the ground floor and the terrace?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and so what are those both event spaces?
So the ground floor, as operating as a kind of private members club and a workspace, the ground floor at the moment is utilised as for people to come along who are members to have Zoom calls, to come and have a coffee and work in a co-working space. That can be utilised for private events. Now, we obviously want to make sure that we don't rent the space out too much and avoid kind of annoying our existing members. The space on the roof will largely be utilised as a private event space because obviously of a rooftop, it has a much more appealing effect to possible opportunities.
Sure. So that roof space, is that all weather?
Is it all weather? No. From my clients are shaking their heads. Scotty, my client, can assist with the question.
It's not all weather at the moment, no.
So should an event take place on an evening that was forecast to rain, what would you do?
We would bring it inside.
It would come inside. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you. In terms of sound management, I know that you've I haven't got the page in front of me. I know you said that there will be there's a condition limiting the sound to a level agreed by noise and nuisance. In terms of any noise generated by say human generated noises rather than electronically created noises, what sort of sound tests have been done from the top of the terrace to the residential line of sight residences?
So we have instructed an acoustician who has prepared an acoustic report, which was prepared when the premises was built. That took into account the whole multitude of factors of the operation of the premises downstairs and also on the terrace to make sure that any noise and any either people noise or obviously noise from speakers does not impart on the nearby residents. Obviously, the resident that we are dealing with here at Frederick Court is a few buildings away from where we are now, and the distance is, as I'm sure you will know, quite considerable to actually reach that location, and the ability of voices carrying that far will obviously be drowned out by the tube that is just running behind us, and obviously the number of cars on Fulham High Street.
Sure. So the mitigation is effectively a distance rather than, say, any kind of natural or other barrier.
Yeah, in terms of from speaking noise, yes, there's no natural. There's obviously sides up on the roof terrace to make sure that it's not just a complete sheer drop, of course. But there's no kind of sound acoustician wall to prevent that because of the such distance to the nearby resident.
Okay, thank you. That's all from me, Chair. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Gary.
Perfect. I'm going to bring Gertha back in. I believe
Yes, hi. I checked, and Felix is correct. There was no retail sale of alcohol, so no license was required at that time.
Excellent. Councillor Shivapuri, do you have any following questions from there?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Chair. Yes, thank you, Lorna and Gertha, for confirming this. Yeah, I wanted to ask the applicant. There's sections about staff training as well as provision of security guards. So I wanted to understand what capacity do you have for guests? How many people would you expect on a normal day?
I'm just going to pass you over to Gemma, the operations director.
Hello. So on a normal day when we have the club open, so we welcome members. Currently, we have between 2 and 20 members using the club facilities during the day for co-working or meetings. That obviously, as we grow our space, we expect numbers to grow as well and members to use the space more and more. In terms of private events, the maximum capacity that we have put on the ground floor is 250 guests. That's indoors and outdoors. And then on the terrace third floor, the maximum capacity is 80 guests.
So that's I wanted to kind of, and this is open to other members' opinions, but there's a condition on page 30 that says that at least one member of staff on duty basically should have training about licensing conditions. I was wondering, considering the number of guests you will be welcoming and the number of staff you may employ, it might be helpful to have that training dispensed to more than one person. I would assume that you had at least 10 people helping 200 guests. So that's just an observation, and members of the committee, please feel free to comment on that. Then the other question I wanted to ask you, the applicant, is on page 31. It says a minimum of one licensed security guard will be on duty. How many guards would you normally have? Just one or more?
So on a normal day with no events is one, and obviously depending on the numbers of guests we have coming in the area, we'll then have 2 to 5 to 6 security guards depending on our guest numbers.
Okay, that's great to hear. Yeah, thank you. One last question. I don't know whether licensing or the applicant will take it, but it's just to be sure. Are there any residential units in the building that you're applying for, or the building behind, which isn't Frederick Court, but that building between yourselves and Frederick Court? Are there any? No.
No, there's not. My client has confirmed this. There is no residential building units in those two buildings.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Shivapuri. I just have one question, and it's purely a hypothetical. Do you already have in place a procedure? Because it sounds like you've quite an experienced set of staff there about how you will deal with any particular disruptive patrons that may visit your premises. Is there already an agreed policy or practice that you have trained your staff in how to handle such matters?
So I'll just introduce and then I'll pass over to Gemma. Obviously, Pavilion operate 2 other licensed venues within the city, so they are fully aware and fully au fait with how to operate venues. Exactly the policies and procedures in place, I'll just pass over to Gemma and allow her to explain.
So part of opening the new sites, we obviously have new team members that we train, but to allow the training and obviously put in the standards and all the procedures that we have in place in the other clubs, I have management team from the other sides coming and, you know, supporting our new members, staff members, managers, to apply and, you know, be there and, you know, be the trainers and the mentors of all those new staff coming in. So any measures that we have in other clubs will be applied to our Fulham pavilion, because we have the staff that have been trained or training now on new staff. I hope that answers the question.
It does. And Jen, can you remind me, what is your role in the organisation?
I'm the Director of Operations.
And is this a role that you've held for some time, or how long have you been in this role?
So the Director of Operation has been about 2 years. I started in the company 3 years ago as General Manager of Pavilion Knightsbridge.
Thank you. That's very good to hear. I don't have any further questions. Do any other members of the committee wish to ask a question? Okay. In that case, Gertha.
Sorry, I've got a question in relation to the plans, and maybe it was my internet also is not very good. So, and I was researching. Have the plans been agreed with licensing? Because it says in the pack that there are draft plans.
No, these plans are submitted with the application, and they are the agreed plans that we have submitted.
So these are going to be the agreed plans.
Yes,
and
correct.
just to clarify, the only licensable area will be the terrace and the ground floor.
Yes, the other floors are shown purely to show where toilets are, and obviously to show where the fire exit route is from the terrace down to the ground floor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gertha.
Perfect. Okay, in that case, we will move to summing up. Can I start with Lorna? Do you have any further points you wish to raise?
No, nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay. As we've no objectors present, we'll move to the applicant. Felix, you have up to 3 minutes to sum up if you wish. Entirely to yourself.
Thank you, Chair. I will not take 3 minutes. I will be even more concise and brief as I was before. As you obviously have explained, the application before is a modest application for hours within the licensing policy of Hammersmith and Fulham. The application has no objections from any of the responsible authorities who are content the application upholds the licensing objectives. On this basis, I would invite you to grant the application as applied for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felix. In that case, we will now move to deliberation. So the committee will retire to make its decision in a separate room. You are welcome to remain in the meeting to hear the committee's decision. However, this may take some time. If you do not wish to wait, a summary decision will be published on the council's website tomorrow morning. Can I ask the members to turn off their video, to mute their microphones, and then to join us in the other room, and say thank you to everybody else. You're of course free to
Thank you, Chair. We will wait for the decision.
Yeah. Oh, that's quick.
All right, let's just give a moment for everybody to rejoin.
Everyone's on the call, Chair, apart from Gertrude at the moment.
Yes, she's having a bit of a tech issue. I'm just going to give her a moment to rejoin.
I'm just admitting her now, Chair.
Perfect. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for everybody for waiting. The committee has considered an application for a new premises license for the sale of alcohol on and off premises and the performance of live and recorded music indoors, only exhibition of Fulham indoors, as well as the provision of late night refreshment indoors and Outdoor Licensing Act of 2003. In summary, the committee has decided to take into account all the individual circumstances of this case and the promotion of the 4 licensing objectives, and to grant the application as follows. The opening hours are to be exhibition of films indoors only, Sunday to Thursday 10 to midnight, Wednesday to Saturday, Sunday to Tuesday 10 to midnight, Wednesday to Saturday 10 to 1 a.m. Live music indoors only, Sunday to Tuesday 10 to midnight, and Wednesday to Saturday 10 to 1 a.m. Recorded music indoors only, Saturday to Thursday 10 to midnight, Wednesdays to Saturdays 10 to 1 a.m. Late night refreshment both in and outdoors, Sunday to Tuesday 11 o'clock to midnight, and Wednesday to Saturday 11 to 1 a.m. The sale of alcohol on the premises, Sunday to Tuesday 10 to midnight, Wednesday to Saturday 10 to 1 a.m. The sale of alcohol off premises, Monday to Sundays 10 to 11. The hours of the premise will be open to the public are Monday to Sunday, midnight to midnight. The license is subject to any modification and condition. The license is subject to the conditions proposed by the applicant and the police as agreed by the applicant. The license becomes operation with immediate effect. If problems are experienced, then application for review of the premises license can be made. A copy of the committee's full decision, its reasons, and the full text of conditions added to the license will be sent to the parties forthwith. If the applicant or any person who has made a relevant representation is unhappy with the decision, they are entitled to appeal to the magistrate's court within 21 days of the date of notification of the full decision. And just a moment. In that case, I'm going to bring this meeting to a close, and I'd like to thank everybody for their participation this evening.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you to the committee and everybody, to Lorna and Gerta.
Thank you.
I don't know the gentleman from governance. Thank you.
Chair, you're still live. See, we're still live streaming. Legally, the second item can't start until 7:30. So what I'd suggest you do is you turn your mics and your cameras off, stay on the call, and I'll put up an adjournment tile, which we'll have to have up until 7:30, and then we can initiate the second item.
Sure. Thank you, Charles.
Hi. Chair, the applicant has joined for the second item. I'll just let him in, sir.
Hello, can you hear me now, please? Start video. Okay. Hi, hello, sir.
Hello, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, yes.
Yeah, we actually we scheduled a meeting at a 5:45. Unfortunately, because of the traffic, those things. 7:30. Yeah, and we told that at 7:30. Hi, sir. You're okay, sir? How are you? Right? And my name is Yunus Uratari, sir, and I call from
Sorry, Mr. Urafidai, the second item hasn't started yet. So if you could just turn your microphone off and let the chair introduce the item, please.
Can you repeat that, sir? I didn't get you that.
Good evening. My name is Councillor Patrick Walsh. I'm the chair of the committee. If you could just wait a moment, please. We are just awaiting all the participants to be present, and then I will begin the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
If you could mute your microphone for now, please. Perfect. I believe everybody is present. Is that correct, Charles?
That's correct, Chair.
Okay. In that case, I will begin the meeting. Are we still live streamed?
Yes, Chair, we are.
Okay. In that case, welcome to tonight's licensing subcommittee meeting. My name is Councillor Patrick Walsh, and I will be chairing this meeting. This meeting is being broadcast live on the council's YouTube channel. If I do lose connection, Councillor Shivot Verdier will take over. A few housekeeping points before we begin. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your cameras turned on when you speak at the hearing. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If the parties wish to add any additional information other than that at the allocated time to speak, they must use the raise hand function so that they are not missed. I will also ask members to keep their questions and comments brief and to the point. And now moving along to item number 1, the agenda, which is apologies for absence, and we have no apologies for absence. Item 2 is declarations of interest. Do members have any declarations of interest?
Nope.
Councillor Stanton? Oh, Councillor Stanton, you've frozen. Let's give Councillor Stanton a moment. Okay.
Chair, he did explain at the beginning of the meeting of the first item that he was explaining how experiencing ICT issues.
Yeah.
So he might actually might have to rejoin and might have his camera turned off so that he's got the sufficient bandwidth.
That's fine. We'll proceed for now anyway. Item 3, 106 Goldhawk Road, W12. I'd like to ask everybody participating to introduce themselves as I call on you. So we should have with us Mr. Yunus, the applicant.
Hi, my name is Yunus Uratari, and I'm the proponent of the 106 Goldhawk Road, W12 at
Good evening to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
We should have Lorna McKenna, the licensing officer.
Yep, present, Chair.
And we should have Gertha, the council's legal officer.
Present, Chair. Good evening.
Good evening. And then we have no objectors attending this meeting tonight. So the procedure will be as follows. We will first hear from the licensing officer officer who will introduce the application. We will then hear from the objectors. In this case, it'll be Lorna summarising the objections. And finally, we will hear from the applicant themselves. Normally, each party will have up to 5 minutes to speak. Following the presentation by all parties, the committee may ask questions to any party or other person present at the hearing. Except committee members, no party has the right to ask questions of any other party at any time during the hearing. Following the presentation and questions, each party will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their case or representation. The committee will then retire for deliberation. Upon its return, I will announce the committee's decision. So could I ask the presenting officer, Lorna McKenna, to introduce this item?
Chair, sorry, just before Lorna begins her presentation, just for clarity and for those watching on YouTube, just to confirm that Councillor Stanton has dropped off the call, perhaps temporarily, but the committee is quorate, so you can continue the item, Chair, legally.
Thank you, Charles.
And Chair,
Lorna,
sorry, can I intervene as well? If Councillor Stanton is absent for a long period of time and he's missing a lot of presentation from the applicant and questions and answers, then he can't participate in the deliberation. So let's see how it goes. I also have a problem with my internet, so I'm going to keep my camera closed just so I can hear and see everyone. But hopefully, if he joins now, he can participate in the deliberation.
Yes, hopefully he's able to rejoin us this evening. Lorna, could you please introduce the item?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. So on the 14th of August 2024, the Licensing Authority received a valid application for a variation to the premises licence in respect of the premises known as 106 Gold Hawk Road, London, W12 8HD, which was submitted by Mr. Yunus Urathade, the applicant. The premises does currently benefit from a premises licence which permits the following licensable activity: the sale of alcohol off the premises only, Mondays to Saturday, 8 AM till 11 PM, Sundays, 10 AM till 10:30 PM. The applicant has applied to remove the sale of alcohol off the premises only and to add late night refreshment, both indoors and outdoors, to the licence as follows. The provision of late night refreshment, both indoors and outdoors, Mondays to Sundays, between the hours of 11 PM to 3 AM, with the proposed opening hours for the premises being Monday to Sundays between the hours of 11 AM to 3 AM. The applicant has proposed additional steps in the operating schedule to promote the 4 licensing objectives if the application is granted. And on the 14th of August 2024, the planning team informed the licensing team that of the permitted hours currently authorised to be open for the members of the public at the premises. So on the 15th of August 2024, following correspondence with the licensing team, the applicant agreed to amend the hours which had been applied for to align with the current planning permission at the premises as follows. So the new hours being applied for the provision of late night refreshment, both indoors and outdoors, Sundays to Thursdays from 11 PM till midnight, Fridays and Saturdays from 11 PM till 1 AM, with the proposed opening hours of the premises being Sundays to Thursdays, 11 AM till midnight, and Fridays and Saturdays, 11 AM till 1 AM. During the consultation period, the licensing section received 2 representations objecting to the licence application from local residents. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Lorna. And Lorna, could I ask you to summarise on behalf of the objectors?
Yeah, so a lot of the 2 objections, one of them talks a lot about public nuisance and also the late hours till 3 AM. Both objectors have been informed of the reduction of hours, obviously till midnight and 1 AM as just described, but still kept their objections as was.
Thank you, Lorna. We'll now hear from the applicant. So, Mr. Yunus, you will have up to 5 minutes to speak.
Hi. Basically, as the council says, as it is, and in the middle, we have changed the time pattern to, as she said, that Sunday to Thursday, 11 a.m. to up to 12. And Friday, Saturday up to 1 only, up to midnight 1 o'clock only. And I understand that there is somebody who objected towards this.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add on behalf of your representation? You don't have to use the full 5 minutes, but you do have approximately 4.5 minutes left.
And we have all CCTVs, all facilities, and the top of that, we don't have any alcohol facilities to. Obviously, that's of course of the arguments or something, and just most of the takeaways. So I don't think that we will cause any neighbors or this.
Okay. In that case, thank you, Mr. Yunus. I can see that Councillor Stanton has rejoined us. Councillor Stanton, were you able to hear the submission by Mr. Yunus?
Yes, I did. I actually managed to come back in while Lorna was presenting, so I have heard that.
Fabulous. In that case,
apologies to the committee for my errant internet connection.
Not at all. In that case, we shall move along to committee questions. And
Might I ask, is that Councillor Walsh that's frozen, or is that me?
It's Councillor Walsh that's frozen now.
I do wonder whether there's a general internet issue in the area, given that Goethe has also had some issues today.
Yeah, I'm having issues, so I just moved from another room because I couldn't hear. So I thought it was me that I couldn't see and hear Councillor Walsh. I will try to send him a message to see whether he's able to join. So if we can hold on, Councillor Verdier, for a few minutes.
Are members of the committee able to hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Apologies to the committee. I have now been affected by this tech glitches of the evening, but we shall now move along to committee questions. Do any committee members have any questions they wish to ask? Councillor Chivot-Verdier.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Yunus, I have a question for you. We have on record that earlier this year you passed the test purchase on the 4th of May, which is great, but you failed a test purchase on the 4th of March. And this is apparently you were selling refreshments at 50 minutes past your license. Could you tell us more about this and why this happened, please?
I saw so actually I'm acting as a director from the what's the date was you said?
This was what we have in the pack. This was on the 4th of March 2024 at 23:50 hours.
Yeah, and I appointed as a director from April, so I don't know April 4th, from the April 4th onwards. So I don't know what's before that, sir, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. Lorna, maybe you can tell us more about this.
Just so from records from the enforcement team, on the 20th of February 2024, the noise and nuisance team had reported that the premises had seemed to be open at 23:50, and when they spoke to the previous license holder, he admitted that the premises was opened, and he was not aware that late night refreshment was not on the license. So on the 4th of March 2024, a warning letter was sent to the license holder, obviously for permitting licensable activities, and then on the 4th of May, a test purchase was done at the premises. I'm just looking at the records. The license wasn't transferred to Mr. Younes. It was the transfer of the premises license was submitted in July this year, so that enforcement history would have been from the previous license holder.
Okay, so
and we've had nothing from the time after that, so that is from the previous license holder.
Brilliant, thank you, Lorna, and I can give the floor for now, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Shivot-Verde. Councillor Stanton, do you wish to ask any questions?
One or two, Chair. Yes, to the applicant. Hello, sir. I'm not quite sure from the papers exactly what your business is selling, what your kind of business model is, what type of food you'll be selling, and where you're intending to sell it to. So if you could maybe just kind of expand on the papers that we've had to describe to us, what you're selling. Will you be selling mainly by delivery? Will you be selling to people in the premises? And if you are selling by delivery, if you could let us know how it is that you will be doing that. So will you be using, like Uber Eats and Just Eat, or will you be having your own delivery drivers?
Sir, is it possible to, shall I this is to my manager, Shaukat? He will explain you those things. If you don't mind, please.
That's fine for me.
Yeah. Thank you. Jesus.
I ask, please, sir. We just sell here burger, kebab, and pizza, everything, and as a takeaway and delivery also. The delivery, the main partner that Just Eat, Uber, and Deliveroo.
Okay, thank you. So you won't be using your own drivers?
No, we don't have the own drivers.
Okay, no, that's great. So can you tell me for any drivers that are, so I'm just looking up the plan of the building, for any drivers that do come in, can you tell us what sort of waiting area is there for drivers, or would they have to wait outside?
Yeah, mostly they're waiting. Mostly they're waiting outside, because when it's food ready, only we just tell the drivers come in.
Okay, fine. So if there were drivers coming, they would be waiting outside, then coming in when the order was ready. Okay, that's fine.
Councillor Stanton, can I just interject there? Can I firstly clarify what is the name of the person that we are speaking with at the moment?
Yeah, my name is Shaukat Ali.
Ishaq, and what is your relationship to this business?
I'm just manager now.
The manager.
Yeah.
Ideally, so we would be needing to hear from the applicant themselves.
Yeah, once.
Obviously, if there is specific questions that that obviously is better suited to your answer, but hearing from the applicant themselves.
Yeah, once I get.
Yeah, fine. Sorry.
Councillor Stanton, you may continue.
Thank you, Chair. So okay, just to recap, you're selling burgers, kebabs, pizzas, and they will be either delivered. Do you have facilities for people eating in the premises, or are you only takeaway?
There is 8 seats there.
8 seats. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So presumably the majority of your business is takeaway.
Takeaway, yeah.
Well, I say takeaway. So what percentage would you say of your business, roughly, is takeaway, by which I mean people just walking in off the street to order the burger and walking out with it, to the number of deliveries that you make? What's the majority of your business?
Takeaways.
Takeaways. Okay, so so how many deliveries would you say that you would do in an average evening? Say a Saturday evening between 7 and 10 in the evening. Roughly.
If busiest time, maximum 10 or around 10.
So about 2 or 3 an hour.
An hour? No. Altogether, I say altogether nowadays altogether from evening 5 o'clock to up to 11 o'clock, up to 11 o'clock now. I'm saying now is about maximum 10, including just eat, delivery, Uber, and everything, including maximum.
That's great. That's great. And now I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand there is an ability now with operators like Uber Eats and Just Eat to request electronic or electric bikes or pedal bikes rather than kind of motorized scooters. Are you aware of this?
I think that they need to decide that. Sir.
Okay, I'm getting some.
Lorna, could you please mute your mic?
Music in the background.
Lorna, could you please mute your mic?
Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, yes, just to get back to what I was saying. Yeah, so I understand that there are. It is possible for someone such as your premises to request to Uber Eats or Just Eat that electric delivery vehicles be used. I was just wondering if that would be something that you have thought of or something you're already doing.
In that case, we will request to them to apply electric only.
Okay, fine, thank you. I think probably, Chair, for now that's all I have. Although I may come back with some further questions later if anything prompts me.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That was very helpful.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. I do have questions for the applicant. Firstly, so I just looking at the report, there is a number of concerns raised about issues of littering, but also of nuisance, particularly concerns around odours as well. Can I first ask, what steps have you taken or are you looking to take to minimise the effects of littering in and around the premises?
Littering. You said about littering, right?
Yes, littering.
Littering we do. We bought bag from you, means from council, and we're using that to dispose the litterings, and we do oil to recycle facilities. They used to come every week.
Do you, for instance, do you provide bins or anything for customers to dispose of their wrappers in?
No, they takeaways in it. Once they're taken out, we provide them water bags or those things. We will provide them.
And what about around the premises in front of the shop, for instance? Do you actively look to clean up the front of the shop?
Yeah, we do.
Customers litter or anything like that?
No, no, we don't keep any littering except from your bags.
Right. Moving along then, in terms of odours, can you talk about any sort of ventilation measures that you have to try and minimize the effects of the odours from the cooking? You say you do kebabs and pizzas, which are quite fragrant foods. What steps do you have? What ventilations do you have to try and minimize that?
Isn't the isn't the chimney, sir?
Ventilation. So, do you have any sort of like ventilation system to minimize the effect of the odors from the foods as they're being cooked?
Yeah, there is a big canopy there. It is covering all of our cooking facilities.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, sir. Could I ask Councillor Shivalverde or Councillor Stanton, do you have any further questions?
Not from me, Chair, no.
Councillor Shivalverde?
I'm happy to let Goethe come in.
Oh, sorry, Goethe, have you got a question?
The only question I would have to the applicant is, in case the councillors would grant you the application tonight, are you happy for them to impose conditions like they have very questions about litter, ventilation, odor, public nuisance? Are you happy for the councillors to impose some conditions to deal with the concerns the resident have? And they will be dealt by the pool of conditions the council has.
No, to me, madam.
Yes,
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 yes.
I'm asking you. So
Yeah,
in case the councillors will grant you the license as you requested,
yes.
are you happy for them to impose conditions relevant to deal with the concerns of the objectors?
Of course, you have to. Of course, whatever your requirements, as per your requirements, you have to go through.
Okay, thank you.
You will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Goethe. In that case, we will move to summing up. Firstly, Lorna, do you have any additional summaries you wish to provide?
No, nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll move over to you, sir, Mr. Yunus. You have up to 3 minutes to sum up.
Yeah.
Or to summarize. Mr. Yunus, do you wish to make anything in summary before we move to deliberation?
It's okay. I'm waiting for your decision, sir.
Okay, perfect. In that case, we will then move to deliberation. The committee will now retire to take its decision in a separate meeting room.
Yeah.
You are welcome to remain in the meeting room to hear the committee's decision. However, this may take some time. If you do not wish to wait, a summary decision will be published on the council's website tomorrow morning. And could I ask that the members of the committee turn off their videos, mute their microphones, and join me in the separate meeting room. Okay. Have we got everybody back? Mr. Yunus, do you want to join us? Okay, fabulous. In that case, I will read the decision. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. So the committee has considered an application for a variation of the existing premises license for removing the sale of alcohol off premises only and adding the licensing provision of late night refreshment, both indoors and outdoors, Sunday to Thursday, 11 p.m. to midnight, and Friday to Saturdays, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. under the Licensing Act of 2003. In summary, the committee has decided, after taking into account all of the individual circumstances of this case and the promotion of the 4 licensing objectives, to 1, remove the existing licensing provision for the sale of alcohol off the premises only. 2, remove the existing license conditions 4 to 6 that deal with the sale of alcohol. 3, grant the provision of late night refreshment both indoors and outdoors, Monday to Sunday, 11 to midnight. 4, the hours of the premises is open to the public should be 11 a.m. to midnight. 5, impose conditions to the license dealing with the training of staff, CCTV, litter, delivery drivers to wait inside the premises after 11 p.m. An incident log, conditions dealing with odor and ventilation as well. A copy of the committee's full decision, including its reasons and the full text of the conditions added to the license, shall be sent to the parties forthwith. If the applicant or any person who has made a relevant representation is unhappy with the decision, they are entitled to appeal to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days from the date of the notification of the full decision. So I'd like to thank everybody for their participation this evening, and I draw this meeting to a close. Thank you all.